Uh-oh. I'm not sure if I can get this fixed in time. I'm trying. It's not worth it. My computer's frozen. Damn it. What the hell? What the hell is going on here? Well, guys, I'm trying to unfreeze my computer. Okay, there we go. Good morning. Hello. That sucked for a second. Hi, how y'all doing? Happy Tuesday or Wednesday? What the hell's today? Today's Tuesday, right? I don't know. Anyway, good morning and welcome to the show. We still got fireworks going because it's still the new year. Anyway, I am trying to get my shit together. Let's see. Did I send out the notification? Yeah, I did. How about that? I did send out a tweet. My computer was frozen. I didn't know what to do. Hi. So we're gonna have a show today, and it's gonna actually work. Thank you, Gunfox. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Did I turn the music down? I don't even know what's going on here. Anyway, we got a show. I'm gonna do it. And Gunfox is already dropping Hamilton. So if you want to drop a Hamilton like Gunfox, well, there's a link in the, I'll pin it to the top of the chat there on YouTube. And we'll even add it to the Rumble page there. You'll see there if you want to sponsor the show. I need sponsors big time this month. So if you can, great. If you can't, that's cool too. I still love y'all. So let's get this damn thing started. Somebody turn this entrancing music. Thank you. Turn that music off and just play the intro because I wasn't ready. I was stuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yes, indeedy. It is me. Are you ready? Shall we get it going? Yeah, stop that music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel where I have my coffee. I need it. It's in the, what's this cup today? What cup should I use? Oh, this is the California Surf Museum cup from Oceanside, California. We were there a couple Februarys ago, visiting my mother and my niece and hanging out in San Diego. And that was a fun trip. But was that a couple years? No, that was last February for our anniversary. That's what we did. So anyway, as I've already mentioned, Gunfox is already dropping a couple Hamiltons in the tip jar. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. First one is the news continues. The second one says, and Japan getting the impact of 2024 and war news. So we'll get into those. Gunfox is always very good with dropping extra links in if the things that we want to talk about. So we'll put those in the queue today. And today, the main story, I was just laughing about this Daily Caller article about some of the college courses that have been offered in the current school year, starting in 2023. We'll get through some of those. That's my favorite story today. Some of the stupid shit that they're teaching your kids when they go away to school. The indoctrination continues, and especially when they start going to the so-called higher education. And I say, whoever thought of some of these courses must have been high, because they keep making cannabis and cannabis stimulant. What do you call it? The active ingredient. They keep making the active ingredient more and more legal, and I'm sure some of these professors partake because some of these courses you go, what the fuck? Anyway, let's say hi to everybody. Speaking of hi, and then we'll get the show started. There's only one person in Rumble? Or is just no one? Everyone's thinking Rumble is unreliable. No, it says there's 6 people, and I'm one of them. So there's at least 5 over there. But in the Rumble chat, first in the chat is Mr. Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell. And honestly, that's it. That's the only person watching Rumble. That's okay. All I ask, if you're fairly new here, if you only started watching this show in the last, year or so, make sure you also follow me on Rumble, because there's going to be a day when the YouTube channel is just not going to work for whatever reason. In fact, I think I have I may have a copyright strike as of today. In theory, it says I'm supposed to get it today. Haven't seen it. Man Squatch is on Rumble. Jimmy Das Hotep is on Rumble. Nice to see you guys over there. Awesome. But make sure you follow me around, just in case. I don't know. I'm supposed to, like I said, I'm supposed to get a copyright strike today. Now let's see if I have it yet. It should have hit me by now, but it's going to hit me sometime today. And I don't know what that means to my channel. That's the other problem. If I don't, let's see. Let's check. What do I need? I go to YouTube Studio, and in theory, it's supposed to happen today, but it may still happen. It doesn't look like it's happened yet. But it's certainly possible. Have they taken let's see if they've taken that stream down. Because I appealed this not only to YouTube, but also to the Sony Music. And I hope they take legal action. I want them to take legal action. I want them to do a legal action against me for something that's so obviously fair use that they can be fined $10,000. Nope, looks like, let's see. Have they taken it down? Nope, so it says pending. Will be removed from YouTube. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, I don't know if you have one copyright strike, if that does anything to your channel. If it does, you'll have to watch me on Rumble. So that's why it's important to follow me on Rumble. In fact, here, I'm going to put a link to the Rumble side of things here, just in case this stream blows up midstream. So you'll be able to find me. Tyre Alexander's over at Rumble. Nice to see you there. Good. All right, on YouTube, first in chat is still, of course, Mr. Avocados Diablo. He gets the bell. Also, good morning, Tyre Alexander, the gentleman. Lich. How you doing? Good morning. Also, hello to Gunfox61, the fabulous administrator. Oh, it looks like I have a bomb blowing up over my head. The fabulous administrator of our Discord server for the P-Dog Night channel. Always appreciate it. And the prolific purveyor of news. Appreciate you. Good morning also, Kara Soldier, JB, Anonymity, Tito, I'll be back. Simon Wolfwood, Attack Alpaca, Renee Mayette, and also Nomads in the house. Why isn't that working? There we go.
Hammer time.
Also, good morning, Aaron Meredith, Man Squatch, Woodcutter, Another Guy V. Good morning also to Pear de Bear, Cindy Bishop, Brent Hayes, and I think I'm down to the end of the line. If I missed you, just keep talking. I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for all being here early. Johnny on the spots. I know the notifications can take a while to go out for most people, so I know how to do this. Hit the like buttons if you're here on both sides, the old Rumble side and the YouTube side. It helps algorithmically. Share the stream. That helps algorithmically. Put comments in the comment section of the show after the show. That helps algorithmically, because YouTube's doing nothing to help me. They don't. In fact, I'm very frustrated with YouTube. I got to be honest with you. Oh, it looks like they don't have any restriction on this show for a change. Usually, by the time the show's over, they have it restricted. So the actual what do you call it? The replay of the show doesn't get sent out. And even the live show usually doesn't. So at least it's showing monetized now. Doesn't show any restrictions. So maybe for some reason they're being nice to me for a change. I don't know. Good morning, Amazing Disgrace and Septus Wolf. I see you just dropped in the chat. Nice to see you. Let's get into the show, because I'm in limited time today because I'm a little late, of course. So it happens. It's just nature of the show. Real quick, thank you to Jimmy Das Hotep, Another Guy V, Somnambul Nation, everyone already tweeting out the show, Man Squatch, who else? Is that everybody so far? Yeah, share the stream. That can help the most. Your friends and neighbors probably would like to see this show too. So, at least I hope so. I mean, you guys come here a lot, so there you go. Algorithmically. I would imagine okay, so that's over at Rumble that Avocados Diablo said that. Al Gore rhythmically, which would I would expect Al Gore to be about as rhythmic as Herman Munster. Although, actually, they had like when I was a kid, I used to watch reruns of the Munsters on TV after school because they would. I don't know why the Munsters, Gilligan's Island. What were the ones the big afternoon rerun shows? So, at some point, Leave It to Beaver, like all these shows in black and white. Brady Bunch reruns were big when I was a kid. And so, yeah, I mean, basically, when you're a kid, you've seen in the 70s, you've seen every episode of the Brady Bunch. You've seen every episode of Gilligan's Island. You've seen almost every episode of the Munsters, almost every episode of Leave It to Beaver. And there was an episode where they were dancing, and actually it was Lurch dancing, and it was kind of this funny thing because Lurch was the most graceful of the people dancing in the Munsters. It was kind of just a funny bit because he's such a kind of guy. Anyway, hello also to Selective Boys in the house. Boy. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Oh, that's the Addams Family. I'm sorry, that is the Addams Family. Well, yeah, the Munsters was different, and then the Addams Family. In the Addams Family, Lurch was the most graceful of the people, of the, I suppose the Gomez and Morticia were very graceful too. So I guess, but I'm just thinking Herman Munster was very much a clod. Anyway, Beverly Hills Billy, yeah, Hogan's Hero. They didn't, now in the 70s, I didn't see a lot of Andy Griffith reruns, but those were more like in the 80s. For some reason, those became popular. Beverly Hillbillies for sure. Hogan's Heroes for sure was one of the reruns. And it's funny because nobody really, when you're a kid, you don't know how, like Hogan's Heroes got a bad name later on because they just thought, this is kind of making fun of these people who killed a lot of people, but they made them out to be buffoons, which I'm sure to them was embarrassing, but still, it was kind of, you really think about it and, this is, I don't know if this is a great idea for a sitcom, making these Nazi buffoons who are always killing people, but whatever. Anyway, I Love Lucy. Yeah, I Love Lucy reruns were not necessarily in the afternoon. The ones in the afternoon were always, like I said, Gilligan's Island, Brady Bunch, sometimes the Munsters, depending on which years it was, and Beverly Hillbillies. When were those? I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, there were reruns. Gidget, not Gidget. My Three Sons. Let me think about that one. That's with Uncle Charlie, right? So My Three Sons, I wonder when, I don't even remember when that one finished. Get Smart. Oh yeah, Get Smart. That was absolutely what. Anthrax Island, Green Acres is another one too. But yeah, Get Smart. That was definitely one of the ones that was always had reruns. And that when you're a kid, that's just the funniest show because of all the little sight gags and all the it was just full of little sight gags and funny things. So that was when you couldn't kind of understand when you were a kid. So Hogan's Heroes, the sub shop. No, there's no sub shop named Hogan's Heroes. Although, if I were somewhere on the East Coast where they call subs heroes, I could see possibly open up a sub shop called Hogan's Heroes. Oh, and also the other one was Star Trek, but Star Trek was at night. So my mom and I would watch Star Trek reruns, especially in the summer because it came on after the news. And so my mom and I would always watch the Star Trek reruns. So anyway, Green Acres. Yeah, Green Acres kind of went away when I was a kid. I remember seeing Green Acres, but I never really watched it. I didn't think much of it. The other one was Petticoat Junction too. And the only reason I knew Petticoat Junction is because of the song. There's Uncle Joe, he's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction. Anyway, Alf reruns now. Alf, I was alive when Alf was a TV series. So I'm a little older than some of the People seeing that. F Troop, nope, never really saw F Troop. Flying Nun when I was like 3. Flying Nun reruns. Star Trek reruns are Sunday afternoon for you, huh? Okay. Well, I brought up a very popular subject here. Morticia. Morticia's a good old-fashioned, fun, clean, fun band. Oh, I'm not talking about Mortician. I'm talking about Morticia, as in Morticia Adams. Hello, Lord Stanhope, by the way. And H.P. Lovecraft, what's up? My grandmother and I would watch Doctor Who. And there's that stupid heart thing in the way. I can't read it yet. And a lot of old British telly on PBS. Yeah, and Monty Python reruns were pretty big in the late 70s, early 80s. And I didn't, you don't even realize that the Monty Python are reruns until you saw a second one. In the 80s, though, also, what was the other one? Benny Hill was always on, but I don't know if Benny Hill was current then or not. Perry Mason. Look, when I was little, when I was really young, Perry Mason was still on TV. I can't remember if he was in the wheelchair yet, though. Yeah, Perry Mason was still on TV when I was very young. I barely remember it. I Dream of Jeannie. The other one too. Not I Dream of Jeannie reruns were big, and also Bewitched. I've seen every episode of Bewitched ever made, all the way from the early black and white until it went into color. I've seen all 3 Darren Stevens. There were 3, right? I know that Dick York and then what was the other one? Dick York was the original one, and then I can't remember the second one. And also like Saturday morning, so someone's saying Tom and Jerry. So the Warner Brother cartoons and the Bugs Bunny, whatever, were always on. Dick Sargent, yeah, that was the other one. Twilight Zone, yeah, Twilight Zone a little bit. Who knows? Let's come back now. Oh, Dick Van Dyke, My 3 Sons. Yep, I remember. So anyway, all right, let's get into the show, shall we? I don't know. That was the we could talk about that all day. Wait a minute. Sargent York. Yeah, Dick Sargent, Dick York. And then there was one other, I could have sworn there was like one other Darren for like one season. But I can't remember who it was. All right, let's get into the show, shall we? So we actually watch. Should we do the show today? Elizabeth Montgomery versus Barbara Eden. Oh, okay. Here we go. There we go. Let me just do a poll. We'll do a poll on that. And I'm just gonna put the answers. Hang on a second here. Because that's probably a serious debate. That's a serious debate. And I wonder if it's going to, it forces me to put here, can I do it without putting even a question? That's all we get. This is it. That's all I got to do right there. There you go. Here's the poll. Elizabeth Montgomery or Barbara Eden. Now, I wish I can't answer that. That's like asking, Ginger or Marianne. For some reason, Marianne always wins. And I personally think Marianne was far cuter than Ginger. But, but here you go. There's the poll. Elizabeth Montgomery or Barbara Eden. Samantha Stevens or Jeannie. Ooh, that's a question of the day. Damn. All right, let's go. Let's go watch. Let's go do the show. Things trending on the app formerly known as X. One of the big ones, obviously, today is still Epstein Island, Jeffrey Epstein client list, and people are saying the same stupid shit as they did yesterday. But right now the big news is what do they call him? Doe 36. We talked about this yesterday. Bill Clinton mentioned over 50 times in that in that document, apparently, that is supposed to be coming out. Other people, maybe, perhaps, this dude, know him? You know who that is? You know who that is, right? That's Meathead, Rob Reiner. But we don't know. Someone here says, remember in 2019 when the ABC News anchor Amy Robach was allegedly stopped from airing her Jeffrey Epstein expose implicating Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton at Epstein Island. Did Hillary Clinton ask ABC to stop? We don't know. So this was from that report. Here it is.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had
probably get in trouble for the music. Who
and
cares?
Threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had.
This is the report that they quashed.
I tried for 3
They
years.
smashed it.
To no avail.
They said
And
no
now it's
because
all
somebody
coming out.
was.
It's like these
There's some powerful people saying no. We ain't letting you. We ain't let you air that story. Get the hell out of here. We ain't letting you. No, 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 no. So anyway, so Epstein Island's trending. What is this? Let's make this the most viral video on X. Last time I shared this, I got 29,000 shares and 51,000 likes. This week, all focus should be on the world's richest people doing awfully that thing, that you're not supposed to do to children 3 times per day on Epstein Island. Jeffrey Epstein's victim. I have spent 17 years of my. Oh, here. Is this Jeffrey? Let's see here.
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me.
Oh, this is Sarah
raped
Ransom.
repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on.
So that was after Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction. A couple of the people speaking out on this. Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. So this is Donald Trump talking about Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Bill Clinton.
Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, if Donald Trump shows up on that list, what will you do? What will you think of Donald Trump? Will you change your support for Donald Trump? Well, being on the list doesn't mean anything. Okay, the fact that you were mentioned on the list. Now, what would mean something if you were implicated in some of the less wholesome shenanigans going on there, or if you just, if you showed up on a list because you rode on one of Epstein's planes, okay, you might have to say, okay, yes, here's where I rode from here to here, which Donald Trump has explained over and over because people keep asking him about it. What's weird is, though, nobody asks Bill Clinton about it, or nobody asks Hillary Clinton about it, or no one asks Rob Reiner about it, or nobody asks other people that they know have been talked about on this Epstein nonsense, or even here, this is Obama on Epstein's Island. That was a picture of Obama on Epstein's Island. That's the little thing in the background there, or is it not? Now, he took his family there. Might not have been doing, again, he was there. Doesn't mean he was doing shenanigans, but Epstein was a mega Democrat donor. Kind of like Samuel Bankman-Fried, who's getting the kid glove treatment right now also. Hello, Zed the Snarky. So, just because they're on the list doesn't necessarily mean they did something bad, but someone says, oh, Bill Clinton. Okay, here we go. These are not official articles that I know of, but here, Bill Clinton officially named as Epstein's most prolific pedophile in leaked court documents. Well, we don't know that. But people are like, oh, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein weren't friends as much as you leftists try to spin it. He never went to Epstein Island. He helped prosecutors in 2009. That's the number one thing that when they say, oh, Donald Trump was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, also he helped prosecutors convict him the first time in 2009 down in Florida. Now, for whatever reason, the Florida judge or whatever, DA, gave him some lenient shit after he got convicted that time, so no one knows why. But anyway, Bill Gates too. Bill Gates, remember, part of the reason Bill Gates is divorced right now? Part of the reason Bill Gates is divorced right now has to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Now here's Bill Gates' ex-wife talking about his many visits to Epstein Island.
I think those are questions Bill needs to answer.
Okay. It was also widely reported that...
I don't like it when people drop music in these, because then I play them on here and I get messed up. Hello, TC, what's happening? I'm going to leave. I'm not going to play that. I was going to, but I don't want to. I want to make sure that, whatever. Now, here's another one. Oh yeah, see, Donald Trump was a regular on flights to Epstein Island. And his name appears on the Epstein client list, and the magazines can't fucking deal with that. Whoa, what? So here, hang on. Oh. But wait a minute. Look at all the Democrats and Hollywood celebrities on the Epstein client list. Heard Bill Clinton went to Epstein Island over 50 times. No wonder they don't like Trump. He's not part of their pedophile club. Okay, let's look if he's on here. I'm pausing. There's no Donald Trump there. I don't know what this list is. I can't verify this list. Again, readers added context. People they want to know. The expected list of Epstein clients has not been published, and there is currently no verifiable evidence to suggest this list of names is correct. And so this person's saying, Donald Trump was on the regular flights to Epstein Island. No, there's no evidence of that. You have no evidence of that. Because the list isn't out yet. The only one we know that people keep talking about and that's going to be, according to news sources, that is on there at least 50 times because it's already been leaked, is Mr. Bill Clinton. So, I don't know. The Clinton Foundation has massive ties to Epstein Island, a disgusting nest of pedophiles and miscreants. Hillary and Bill Clinton, especially Bill, has direct ties and was directly on the island. We will discover more horrific things of that, I'm certain. These are people, everyone's just speculating. What is that? Fuck is that? Chuck Schumer's name is on the flight logs. No one should be surprised. Look, I'm not going to say that every big name Democrat that shows up on that list necessarily went to Epstein Island or, was with underage girls. For example, if Chuck Schumer's on that list, I'm not going to immediately assume that because Jeffrey Epstein was a huge Democrat donor. Okay. So there's probably a lot of politicians who may or may not have been, gone somewhere with Epstein on a flight. I'm more concerned if they show up in records going to the island, because the island's a whole different story. Because even if you went to the islands, you weren't having any kind of sexual relations with underage girls. You knew underage girls were there. And how did they get there? What were they doing there? So, right, yeah, same thing, Jimmy Das Hotep on Rumble. I don't believe anyone posting info about the logs at this point. Exactly, because they have not been officially released. So anyway, so Epstein client list trending, Epstein trending, Bill Clinton's trending, mainly because of that. But we've seen pictures of Bill Clinton getting a massage from one of the plaintiffs. Why is he getting a massage from someone under 18 years old? I'm curious. I am curious. All right. Other things trending. Japan is still trending because of the earthquakes and potential tsunami there. Here's the Japan hashtag. In fact, this is breaking. A Japan airliner has reportedly collided with a Coast Guard aircraft on the runway when landing. Oh, that's not good. Currently, there's a massive emergency response underway after Japan Airlines flight caught fire landing in Tokyo's Haneda Airport after it reportedly collided with a Coast Guard aircraft on the runway. There are nearly 400 passengers on board the airliner. They've all been safely evacuated. The cause of the fire is being investigated and is still developing. Well, I would think the cause of the fire would be the crash into the Coast Guard the Coast Guard plane. So here, I'll play this. I mean, the cause of the fire is being investigated. I would guess that fuel ignited. I don't know that that's rocket science, but I suppose you have to still investigate. Here's the crash. This is someone apparently on the plane, and oh no, this is yeah, there's the outside view. Apparently all the passengers were safely evacuated, so that's good. That's good. So we'll get to Gun Fox's story. I think is one of the stories on that, I believe. Yes, there it is. Okay. Let's move on. International Court of Justice is trending. Apparently, again, I think we mentioned this yesterday, South Africa filed a case in the International Court of Justice in The Hague accusing Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. International law expert Frances Boyle, who has argued successfully at the ICJ, says she believes South Africa will win an order against Israel. Well, you know why they'll win an order against Israel? Because Israel gets accused of this continually and always loses in this court. And it's a court with no teeth. I don't know what it'll do. Here is there's an 84-page indictment of how Israel consciously and deliberately intended and carried out and continued to carry out a genocide. It's really weird. In the last, I think, since 2006, I think, when Israel left Gaza, the population has quintupled. That's a weird genocide to me. Qatar and Oman announced they have submitted written statements to the International Court of Justice in The Hague in support of the Palestinian position on the occupation. Look, the UN has passed hundreds of resolutions against Israel. And what's telling is they haven't done the same for other countries that have these major problems. They haven't done it against Yemen. They haven't done it against Syria. They haven't done it against, China for their treatment of the Uyghurs. They love to attack Israel because all the Arab states put forward these resolutions and they get passed somehow, condemning Israel. It's tough to take them seriously knowing the history of how the Arab nations versus Israel have been since the establishment of Israel. So it's, my position on that. I know some of you don't agree with that, but that's where I'm at. Good morning, Special K and Acid. How you doing? Brett Hayes 2, Slim Tito 02 is in the house also. All right. So anyway, that's why that is trending. Also, MAGA is trending. MAGA. But about any given day, MAGA will be trending. Let's see. It's like people are still talking about Green Day too, regarding that, and the idea that Green Day changed their lyrics of American Idiot to fit the MAGA crowd, and it is surprising seeing that Green Day was always kind of anti-Republican and wrote songs being anti-Republican or whatever. So anyway, I'll leave the hashtag open, but there's really nothing to report on it. Here, Vivek Ramaswamy, the GOP establishment is fine with candidates saying, I'll fire Christopher Wray because it'll shut up MAGA and libertarians while doing absolutely nothing in substance. Right answer, shut it down. Yes, the president can do it. And we deserve one who won't fall for their tricks. Okay. And then here's somebody, Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile rapist who sold underage girls to rich men so they could rape little girls. Donald Trump is a pedophile who bought those girls from Epstein to rape. See, this is another one of those, y'all bitched about Trump and Epstein. Forget that Epstein had his first conviction because of Trump. Trump said, kicked him to the curb and banned him from Mar-a-Lago and helped Florida convict him the first time when he got the little hand slap. New Year's Eve, Green Day sang this song and subbed, I'm not a point on the MAGA agenda. In the second verse, and conservatives suddenly realized Green Day is political. No, we all knew. Well, anyone who listened to Green Day knew they were political. That's why I was never a fan of Green Day. But a lot of punk-ish bands are political, and Green Day was one of those punk wannabe bands that, the music is catchy, but I wasn't a fan anyway, so I don't give a shit about Green Day. And people bitching about Green Day now. It's funny because so let me just say this other part. So they made the little quip about MAGA, right? And their New Year's celebration. And people went crazy. People were like, oh, yeah, they're praising Green Day. And then some people, the MAGA people, were like, fuck Green Day. But I see more people talking about people supposedly bitching about Green Day than actual people bitching about Green Day. A lot of people don't give a shit. It's Green Day. What do you expect? Good morning, AWOL. What's up? And anonymity. I already did that. T2. I'll be back. I already said that. Grill and Pirate Pete's in the house. Nice to see you. All right, let's move on. What else trending? Oh, so the word liberty is trending, and I don't really know why. I mean, there's a lot of people with different reasons. People are tweeting about the word liberty, and it didn't really matter to me, and I scrolled through it to see if I could find something interesting. But then I found one tweet from Moms for Liberty, and it's really just featuring a Red State article, and I want to go to that. So apparently, Illinois law mandating sexually inappropriate material in libraries is now in effect. So the state of Illinois, now this is a Red State article from our friend Jeff Charles, a friend of the show, or we're cordial on X and not in real life, but in internet life. So apparently an Illinois law requiring libraries to stock sexually inappropriate books went into effect on Monday. Back in June 2023, Governor J.B. Pritzker, now his brother turned sister is huge transact. These are very extremely wealthy people, and his brother sister donates heavily, no pun intended, heavily to LGBTQ plus causes, mostly trans causes, because his former brother is now a sister trans, okay? And JB loves his sister, brother, whatever you want to call it, and which is fine. You love your family. I don't care. But so JB Pritzker signed a bill that was ostensibly intended to stop book banning at libraries. The move came amid tense debate over inappropriate content being provided for young children in libraries and government-run schools. Many concerned parents have called for certain books to be removed because they contain overtly sexual material that is not age-appropriate for children. But now it appears parents will not have a say in what is included in libraries by law in Illinois. While certain hypocritical governors are, this is a quote, While certain hypocritical governors are banning books written by LGBTQ authors, but then claiming censorship when the media fact checks them. Excuse me? I'm sorry, fact checks what part? That the sexually explicit books? But I digress. We are showing the nation what it really looks like to stand up for liberty, Mr. Pritzker, a Democrat, said at a bill signing event at the Harold Washington Library Center in Chicago. The law directs public libraries in the state to adopt or write their own versions of a library bill of rights, such as the American Library Association, which asserts that materials should not be prescribed or removed because of partisan or doctrinal disapproval. How about blatant child pornography in their illustrations? How about that? Depiction of children having sex with adults. How about that? Like some of them do. Like some of these books do. Or just played out pornography, even though in the cartoon form, that some of these books do. Really? Oh, no. And then it says libraries that don't comply could lose state funding according to the bill. And some people are celebrating this. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker absolutely scorching those trying to ban books in our country after signing into law the nation's first ban on banning books. Really? You don't believe in democracy anymore? Because, people who vote at school boards, they vote for that shit, right? You don't believe in democracy anymore? Here he is.
Illinois will become the first state in the nation to officially ban book bans once and for all.
Really? Oh, that's fan-fucking-tastic. Now we can put some right-wing books in the schools. How about that? I bet you won't like that, will you?
In 2020.
By the way, his sister that was a brother looks almost exactly like him, just put on a blonde wig, and it looks like the same person, like big old heavy round face motherfucker. Hello, Justine Ellison. How you doing? Okay, anyway.
There were 67 attempts to ban books here in Illinois.
Ban books or remove them from school libraries. See, there's the other thing, too. They keep saying, oh, ban books. You mean you can't get them at Barnes & Noble or on Amazon? You're not allowed to have them in the state. You get arrested for having one of these books in your state. No, that's not it. All they've done is asked, some books maybe should not be in the elementary school library because they're a little bit too saucy. Okay, or maybe the ones that have depictions of children giving blowjobs to full-grown men, maybe those should not be in the school library because it's not something we should be encouraging. I don't care if it was even if it was heterosexual depictions of child versus grown adult, whatever. I don't think you'd be wanting that in the school. Imagine. So right now there's one of the books. It's about the kid talking about how he was giving to to a grown man, right? Imagine if that were a girl and they would put that in the school library. Would they allow that? If it was a heterosexual girl and a full-grown man, I don't think they'd allow that, would they? But no, because this is something that LGBTQ people. And it's funny because they always try to go, oh, this is something that the that is LGBTQ friendly. You know what? I'm going to guess that most LGB and even some of the TQ people probably don't think this belongs in the frickin' middle school library. So it's not like, it's just incredible. It's incredible. This kind of, you have to promote it by putting sexually explicit material in the schools. Is that what you mean there, JB?
Books about coming of age and mental health.
Oh, they're just about coming of age and mental health. They don't have illustrated depictions of sexual acts at all. See, they're just about coming of age with, not spelled C-U-M-I-N-G either.
Books about LGBTQ plus kids and teens.
Is that what it is?
Books about the black experience and racism. Renowned classics like The Kite Runner and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, you mean that's the one? That's a book that most Democrats are trying to get banned. So so you are going to include that, right? Because I don't see the right trying to ban those books. That's interesting. So at least maybe you're being an equal opportunity. We ain't banning books thing. It's so funny because they thought that To Kill a Mockingbird was banned in Florida, and then they realized it's on the required summer reading list, or not required, but the recommended summer reading list in Florida at most schools in Florida. But they have banned it in school districts in California. They have banned it in some of the school districts in Illinois. Not the right-wing people, the left-wing people. So you love banning books. Apparently maybe he's having a different change of thought on that.
The argument for banning books always begins with the claim that it's about protecting the children.
Really? Which books might that be applied to? I'm curious.
And yes, of course, we all want to protect our children.
Do you really?
So they're reading age-appropriate material.
Oh, okay, great.
But banning books from libraries isn't about that at all.
What is it about?
Book bans are about censorship, marginalizing people, marginalizing ideas and facts.
Yes, young boys giving
Regimes
blowjobs to
ban
adult
books,
men.
Not democracies. Fascist Italy, the Taliban's Afghanistan. This is the land of Lincoln.
Democrats in
the home state
California.
of the first black president. Illinois was the first state in the nation to ratify the...
Please write the coattails of black people, JB.
The 13th Amendment abolishing slavery. We were the first state in the nation to ratify the 19th Amendment, guaranteeing women the right to vote. We refused to let a vitriolic strain of white nationalism...
wait a minute. White nationalism tried to ban To Kill a Mockingbird? The only two books you've mentioned by name. White nationalists were trying to ban those books? You lying piece of shit. Holy shit, you're a lying piece of shit.
Coursing through our country, determine whose histories are told.
That's amazing. The only two books you mentioned by name. Because you thought that made your argument better. When those are the books trying to be banned by leftists, not people on the right. Holy shit.
Not in Illinois.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the American Library Association has been instrumental in the effort to use libraries to indoctrinate children. In fact, its president was caught on audio saying that. The organization also helped craft similar legislation intended to be passed at the federal level. Pritzker and Azil seek to keep inappropriate content in libraries and in schools by referring to any effort to remove them as book banning. It's a label they are using to tie opponents to Nazis who burned and banned certain books. Yet in most cases, the effort to reevaluate the books included in libraries has nothing to do with ideology. Indeed, it is about ensuring that small children are not exposed to material that is not appropriate for their age level. Library issues have become a major battlefield in the culture war for the past few years. Education has been a hot button issue after COVID-19 brought about awareness of how progressives were seeking to use the educational system to indoctrinate young students into their ideology. In many cases, this happened without the knowledge and consent of parents. Yeah, they learned a lot by having to be home with these kids, overlooking their shoulder when they're doing their homework in the Zoom call. And they figured out that, oh my God, what the hell are you people doing? All right, let's move on because I got to get to the actual news today. So yeah, that's some crazy shit. All right, let's go to Gun Fox's articles. We'll do the main topic and then we'll try to get as much of whatever else we can into the show today. But let's since Gun Fox already dropped a few Hamiltons, I'm going to get to these. Some of these are related to stuff we've already talked about, but that's okay. Let's get to them anyway. First, from Gun Fox 61, thank you again, dropping Hamilton in the tip jar. In Japan, the battle to find quake survivors, excuse me, let me put it on the right there. There we go. Battle gets time to find quake survivors as Japan lifts tsunami warnings and the death toll rises. Scenes of devastation emerged along Japan's western coast Tuesday as rescuers raced to save residents trapped in the rubble of a 7.5 magnitude earthquake that has triggered multiple aftershocks and killed dozens of people. The quake shook the Noto Peninsula in the central prefecture of Ishikawa on Monday afternoon, collapsing buildings, sparking fires, and triggering tsunami alerts as far away as eastern Russia. At least 48 people have been confirmed killed as of Tuesday afternoon. A spokesperson for Ishikawa Prefecture confirmed to CNN that five people were killed at Tokyo Haneda Airport on Tuesday when a Japan airliner's jet collided with a Coast Guard plane on its way to provide earthquake relief. Ooh, I didn't know 5 people died in that. Japan's meteorological agency lifted all tsunami advisories along portions of the country's western coast Tuesday, but more than 24 hours after the quake struck, there has been limited access to the northern part of the secluded Noto Peninsula. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida told reporters after a disaster emergency meeting Tuesday that a destroyed road had cut access to the area. Officials in helicopter had flown over the peninsula known for its coastal scenery and rural landscapes and reported seeing damaged roads, landslides, large fires. To secure the route there, we are to mobilize all means of transport, not only on the ground, but also by aerial and marine support. We have been making an effort to transfer goods, supplies, and personnel there since the last night, Kishida said. Central city of Wajima, home to more than 27,000 people, appeared to be among the worst hit. Wajima City officials told, this is CNN, that 15 people were confirmed dead there. The coastal city is famous for its morning market and fine traditional lacquerware. But early surveys from the air on Tuesday revealed smoldering fires and large plumes of smoke engulfing streets of destroyed buildings. And then earlier, the city saw tsunami waves around 1.2 meters or 4 feet tall. According to NHK, on Tuesday, the fire department of Wajima City reported that about 200 buildings are believed to have been burned down on Asahi Street, a popular tourist area in Wajima, in the fire that broke out Monday, according to Japan's public broadcaster. The department also said 25 buildings, including houses, had collapsed, and 14 structures may still have people trapped inside. In addition to around 500 people who are stranded at Noto Airport after the terminal was damaged. They are being provided food and blankets, but nearby roads are damaged, so they can't get out, adding that the airport will be closed until at least Thursday. Then they have more information on the rescue efforts, but just some of the scenery. I mean, this house collapsed here. You can see that. And this is where they're obviously still trying to put out fires, but some of the roads have major damage. That's terrible. And then also the tsunami warnings have been lifted, but the aftershocks remain. So it's still there's still a lot going on in that area. Also, thank you, Gunfox61, for this one describing the plane disaster in Haneda Airport. At least 5 dead as a passenger plane smashes into Coast Guard jet and explodes before 379 are rescued. Japan Airlines plane erupted into flames after apparently colliding with the Coast Guard aircraft at Tokyo's Haneda Airport on Tuesday. All 367 passengers and 12 crew members who were on board the airport's Airbus A350 have been evacuated. It's now understood that the aircraft... It is now understood that the other aircraft in the collision was a Japan Coast Guard plane reportedly set to leave to help with rescue efforts following the tremendous earthquake in central Japan on New Year's Day. Investigators said there were 6 people on board the de Havilland Dash 8 aircraft, 5 of whom were later reported to be dead. The captain was said to be in critical condition, according to Yahoo Japan. 17 people were also reported injured. Firefighters said police are now understood to be investigating the debris of the Coast Guard aircraft, and then pictures show dozens of crew members near the wreckage site. So, sad event there. A spokesman for Japan Airlines said the aircraft had departed from Chitose Airport in Hokkaido to Tokyo's Haneda International Airport. Television pictures caught the shocking moment as passengers and airport workers watched in horror. Images from broadcaster NHK showed flames apparently coming out of the plane's windows from beneath the aircraft. Video later showed fire crews working out to put out the blaze in streams of water, aiding to evacuate the operation. And let's see. The flames spread to much of the plane. One passenger managed to capture the despair taking place inside the plane as smoke took over the entire cabin. People were seen covering their faces with their hands or masks. Others were heard yelling in the background. All of a sudden, it was full of smoke and everyone was shouting in Japanese, said Swede Anton Diebe, 17, who was on the plane. Anton was traveling alongside his sister Ella, mother Kristen, and father Jonas. Swedish outlets Aftonbladet reports. So apparently that might be the person who took video of the inside of the plane. So scary scene. There's pictures of the scene inside the plane. Them looking out the window. Then they're looking back. Shocking footage show flames coming from inside and beneath the plane. But all the passengers and crew from the plane were evacuated safely. The 5 of the 6 people on the Coast Guard plane perished. And then finally, from the third gunfox, Iran heating up some more tension in the Red Sea, I believe. Iran sends warship to Red Sea after U.S. sinks the Houthi boat. So yesterday we talked about the Houthi boats that were attacking a cargo ship, and U.S. I don't know if it was a destroyer, but a U.S. ship sank those boats. Well, Iran has dispatched a warship to the Red Sea after the U.S. Navy destroyed 3 Houthi boats, a move that risks ratcheting up tensions and complicates Washington's goal of securing a waterway that's vital to global trade. The Al-Borz destroyer traversed the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a narrow choke point between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden on Monday, Iranian state media said, without providing further information on the vessel's mission. Iran's foray into the Red Sea a day after the U.S. action compounds a highly volatile situation in the channel that handles about 12% of the world's commerce. Here we go again. Prices going up. The move could be seen as a challenge to the U.S.-led Marine Task Force established last month to halt attacks on ships by the Tehran-backed Houthi rebels who control a swath of Yemen's northwest, including the capital of Sana'a and the Red Sea port of Al-Hudaydah. A Houthi delegation met with officials in Tehran after the U.S. killed several members of the militant group during an attack on a Danish-owned container ship. AP Moller Maersk AS suspended all Red Sea transit for 48 hours to assess the situation. The Houthis in November began attacking vessels they claimed were headed to or owned by entities in Israel in a bid to end an Israeli offensive in Gaza after Hamas, a U.S.-designated terror group, staged a shock attack inside Israel. We all know about that. In 1 month, the Houthis hijacked 1 container ship and launched over 100 drone and ballistic missile attacks targeting 10 merchant vessels, involving more than 35 different nations, according to the Pentagon. Operation Prosperity Guardian, with the militant involved the navies of the U.S. and 9 other nations, swung into action from December 19th and had a fierce encounter with the militants on Sunday. So this is the area we're talking about on the map. This is Al-Hudaydah in Yemen, the port that they're talking about. This is what's it called? The Strait of Hudaydah or something like that. Anyway, the Suez Canal is up here, and the Red Sea is up there. So yeah, this is where the action's taking place. Helicopters aboard two U.S. destroyers in the Red Sea, the USS Eisenhower and the USS Gravely, responded to a distress call by the Maersk Kansu as Houthis in 4 speedboats tried to board the vessels, according to the U.S. military. Houthi fighters ignored verbal warnings, fired at the aircraft, and triggered a lethal response in which 3 of the boats were sunk. It was the Houthis' second major shipping attack in less than 24 hours and came after Denmark announced it was sending a frigate to the Red Sea to join the U.S.-led maritime coalition. So the the Houthis in small boats effed around and found out, and that's that. And now Iran's sending a warship into the Red Sea. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? All right, let's get to the main topic. And then we'll buzz through the other ones quickly. Iran has a bigger navy than Canada, does it? Basically, there are yacht clubs that have more power navies than Iran. Well, and Canada does not have a big navy either. I don't know my militaries that well. I just know we have a big ass navy, and the Brits have a big ass navy, and the Russians have a big ass navy, and the Chinese are they're growing their big ass navy. All right, let's talk about more education stuff though, because J.B. Pritzker thinks that those extra special books should just stay in the schools and should not be considered whether or not they're age appropriate. But also a lot of you probably send your kids to college thinking that they're going to go become, smarter, productive citizens. And then they get to college and there's some courses that they're first of all, that colleges are indoctrination machines, but still you got to learn some stuff there that is useful. I know both my kids did and are doing well in life now, but I have been reported to by not just my own kids, but others that there's a whole bunch of stuff that they just smile and keep driving, and they did their work and laughed about how some of it was stupid. Okay, and so now we have in the Daily Caller today an education piece talking about queering God and how to be a bitch. Here are just a few of the craziest courses universities offered in 2023. This is my favorite topic of stupid. Anytime you find a stupid college course. So here we go. Universities offered students in the U.S. the opportunity to enroll in many courses that push gender ideology and left-wing activism during the 2023-2024 school year. That would be the current school year. Here's one. Princeton University, one of the great Ivy League schools in the world, offered a class titled Black and Queer in Leather. Black Leather BDSM Culture. Yes, that's an important class to have in college. A survey of black and queer leather BDSM culture in the spring 2023 semester, according to the university's course catalog. The course will survey black BDSM culture via research available in libraries and individuals involved in the groups that participate in the culture. We will consider the fragility of archival engagement with these communities by surveying existing BDSM archives in research libraries, community groups, and individuals and their personal ephemera. The course description reads, yes, we'll get into some black fetish culture. That's an important college to learn at Princeton University. You don't know how important that may become in your real life, especially if you're black and queer and into BDSM. Now, I don't know if it's appropriate for everybody else, but yes, black, queer, BDSM culture. There you go. That's a course at Princeton University. Now, Princeton made headlines in 2022 following the addition of this course to the catalog, as well as a course called FAT, the F word, and the public body, and the anthropology of religion, fetishism, and decolonization. Now, tuition at Princeton costs more than $59,000 per year and can cost more than $76,000, including housing and food costs, according to the university's website. $59,000. I bet it's more than that. Hell, my son's school is 45, 46,000 a year, something like that. Anyway, Westminster College. Now, is that in Pennsylvania? I'm not sure. Westminster College offers a course titled How to Be a Bitch. YouTube, I'm reciting the name of the course title. How to Be a Bitch. Students are encouraged to unpack the words bitch and bossy, which are interesting but problematic. One course offered at Wesleyan University titled Queer Russia. Yes, I said Queer Russia. Offers students an overview of the influence of queer people in Russian culture. Now, I know that that's not a very popular thing with the government in Russia, but anyway, according to the university's 2023 course catalog, the course, quote, focuses on gender and sexuality in exploring an alternative cultural history of Russia, which highlights its queer legacy from the 19th century to the present. Yes, queer culture in Russia has exploded as a historical landmark of what Russia is about. Yes, lots of queer culture coming out of Russia. Just tons of it. And my gosh, we need to explore that at Wesleyan University. Now, the other university offered another class titled, quote, Bad Sex. Yes, John McLaughlin, or Joel McLaughlin, excuse me. I don't think you're any related to John McLaughlin, but you could be, because the McLaughlin clan out of Ireland is a very abundant and fertile clan, and you might be a part of it. So anyway, hello, Joel, by the way, if this is your first time, welcome to the show. What was it? The other class title called Bad Sex, which debates the value of sex and questions if modesty in sexual relations is a worthwhile pursuit, according to the 2023-2024 catalog. So at Wesleyan University, we have both Queer Russia and Bad Sex. You know, you could probably put that in the same course, I would think. Hello, thank you. Oh, we have, thank you, sponsor, Queering God's textbook, donated a small bullet to the tip jar saying, and thus did the Last Supper end, and Jesus did bid farewell to his disciples. Upon doing so, he turned to Mary of Magdalene, formerly Mark of Magdalene, and he did saith unto him, so you work on credit, right? Oh, snapola, Mr. Queering of God textbook. Thank you so much for the small bullet tip jar, and now you get one of these too. Okay, let's see. Oh, here it is. This is about the Bad Sex course at Wesleyan University. Quote, what is it about casual encounters and hookup culture that so disturbs? Why is sex a magnet for anxieties about selfishness and irresponsibility? Why do we think of anonymity and intimacy in sex is mutually exclusive? The course description asks. Now, Wesleyan announced it would cover, Wesleyan announced it would cover abortion-related costs and emergency contraception for students in the fall 2023 semester. Well, good, because if you're teaching them, maybe it's because you have demonstrations in your Bad Sex course, and then you got to go, oh shit, well, you kind of fucked up. Anyway, what's this say here? It says the university charges more than $66,000 a year for tuition and nearly $20,000 for housing, according to their website. $86,000 a year to be on campus at Wesleyan University. Holy shit! Are there sheets and pillowcases made of gold flake? Okay, moving on. Occidental College, not accidental, but Occidental College in California, offers a course titled Black Queer Thought. According to the university's 2023-2024 course catalog, the course critiques, quote, the demands of heteronormativity, white supremacy, patriarchy, and capitalism. You know, I bet you every queer studies course at Occidental University probably has the exact same thing for everything, every course. Because the course critiques the demands of heteronormativity, white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism. That sounds like every course that ends in the word studies. Because if your course ends in the word studies, you learn how to bitch about things. The course also explores, quote, how the cultural producers in question complicate and elaborate upon the sometimes static and often U.S.-centered divisions we hold for black and queer, according to the course description. Now, it's just perfect. Okay. Who takes that course? Could you imagine if that was your major, though? What would you do with that at the end of that major? Okay, the Southern University of Oregon, SOU, offered a class titled, quote, Decolonizing Transgender, end quote. Oh, so apparently transgender is colonized? According to the university's course catalog, the course examines the development of the word transgender across, quote, social, cultural, historical, legal, medical, and political contexts. You mean this concept that has been blowing up in the last 10, 20 years as opposed to transsexual? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you out of here? Later, Gun Fox. How you doing? The course can be taken as a part of the university's, quote, Certificate in Transgender Studies, according to the school website. Well, fan-fucking-tastic. And again, if you have a major that ends in the word study, you probably should be studying menus and maybe even car parts. You can work at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Anyway, the University of Chicago, one of the finest universities in the country, offers a course titled Queering God. Now, Queering God textbook, listen up. A course titled Queering God that questions if God is queer and what queerness has to do with the concept of God. Quote, what does queerness have to do with Judaism, Christianity, or Islam? The course description reads, well, maybe you should be teaching that course in, let's say, Mogadishu. Let's try teaching that course in Mogadishu and ask the same question. The university made headlines for its Queering God class in July. The school also offered a class titled The Problem with Whiteness.
You're fucking a white
Initially
male!
in December 2022, but later moved the course to the spring 2023 after backlash to the course. They're so stupid. I mean, look, if you had a course called The Problem with Blackness or The Problem with Lesbians or The Problem with any other demographic, you could not get away with that. But of course, whiteness is the devil right now. So this is the devil that they teach against. A course titled Unsettling Whiteness. That's when you're especially whiteness. It was offered at Northwestern University in 2023-2024, according to the university's course catalog. The course seeks to make the historical, political, and cultural formation of whiteness in Western modernity visible for analysis. Yes, perfect. Students at Northwestern hosted a speaker in April that accused Israelis of eating the organs of Palestinians. Holy fuck. And tuition at the school for 2023-24 is nearly $65,000 and nearly $92,000 a year with all expenses, including books, fees, room, and board. $92,000 a year. What is that? $372,000 to get a degree at Northwestern? And what is the value of that long term? What is the value? What if you get let's say you get a queer study degree at Northwestern University. What do you think you spent $372,000 either in cash or in student loans? How long would it take you to pay off those student loans with your degree in queer studies? Because first of all, what kind of a job could you get with a degree in queer studies? Unless you're lucky enough to be a person who teaches queer studies at the next university, you're going to be in debt for the rest of your freaking life for that bullshit. Davidson College offered a course titled Latinx Sexual Dissidence and Guerrilla Translation. Why are they getting so freaking specific? because they can get away with it teaching this bullshit. According to the university's catalog, the class seeks to mix feminist, queer, body positivity, and leftist activism all into one class. Perfect. How to be a victim. All these classes should be how to be a victim in the world. Students will study the rhetoric and aesthetic strategies of feminist and queer activist collectives focused on social issues such as immigration, transgender rights, anti-racism, economic equality, anti-speciesism, body positivity, and prison abolition with a pro-pleasure leftist perspective. The course description reads, oh my God, they got it all in. It's unbelievable. So, and then they finish with Westminster College, Princeton, Wesleyan, Occidental College, SOU, Northwestern, the University of Chicago, and Davidson College did not respond to the Daily Caller News Foundation request for comments. Shocker. Good morning, Annalyn. Okay, so there you go. And look, I know there's some dumb electives at many colleges and universities. I thought when I was in school, one of my fellow floor mates in freshman year at Drake University took a bowling class. Literally, the class was bowling. They went bowling every day, and you got course credit for bowling. And I thought, boy, that's kind of a dumb course. You could learn to bowl on the weekends with your friends, drinking beer and having pizza. You know, why do you need to take a course on bowling? But it took a course on bowling, how to score it, how to do all this stuff, and that literally got, I don't know, he probably only got 2 credit hours for it, but still, bowling. at least it's something you could use after you leave school. I've seen archery, there's different, it was a phys ed course. So I suppose you had to take some sort of phys ed course. I got out of it because I marched 1 year in the marching band. So you get out of your one phys ed, you had to take 1 semester of something that was physical education. So he took bowling. And I'm like, okay, well, you got that out of the way. It's amazing some of the shit they put in colleges these days. All right, let me just go through a bunch of headlines and then we're gonna get out of here. In New York City, or no, this wasn't in New York City, this was in Rochester, New York. A deranged man driving a car full of explosives barreled into a crowd outside a Rochester rock concert, killing 2 people. A couple was killed and numerous other people injured just hours before the new year when a deranged man driving a car full of explosives barreled into a crowd leaving a rock concert in upstate New York. A fiery crash occurred at 12:50 a.m. outside of the Kodak Center in Rochester, where roughly 1,000 people were filing out after a New Year's Eve show by the musical group Mo. Rochester officials were helping pedestrians cross the street when a suspected bipolar Syracuse man in a Ford Expedition sped toward the crowd and smashed into an Uber that was pulling out of a nearby parking lot, law enforcement sources said. The force of the collision caused 2 vehicles to go through a group of pedestrians that were in the crosswalk and then into 2 other vehicles. The car exploded into an intense blaze that took the fire department nearly an hour to extinguish. The couple riding in the Uber were killed while their drivers were rushed to the hospital in non-threatening condition. 3 pedestrians were struck by flying cars, all of whom, one of whom is left clinging to life. And then they know the driver. His name was apparently Michael Avery. Law enforcement source told the Post. And apparently he had a suicide note and all kinds of things. So if you hear nothing more about this, you'll know he wasn't a mega extremist, because unless it's a mega extremist, no one's going to care about this. But I'm kind of curious about the explosives, though. What was up? What's the car full of explosives? They said the homicidal driver rented an extra large SUV before heading to the concert venue. Obviously, I would have been liking to stand at this podium to deliver Happy New Year's and a smile. Says, oh, this is the police chief or the mayor saying that. So that was that. And also there was an event in New York City, New Year's Eve. Apparently approximately 9 people were hurt when a car crashed into a group celebrating New Year's Eve in New York City near Madison Square Garden. The authorities have a suspect in custody. Officials with the New York City fire departments said the incident unfolded near West 34th Street and 9th Avenue. Authorities have deemed it a mass casualty event. Now, when they say mass casualty, they mean injuries, because I don't think 9 people didn't die. Several people, including police officers, were hit when the driver apparently drove it onto the sidewalk and eventually came to a halt. Police responded to West 33rd Street and 7th Avenue and observed a dispute between the suspect, identified as a 44-year-old male, and another person. A police spokesman confirmed to Fox News Digital. So this one seems to be just they had a dispute and he lost his damn mind. The suspect got back into the car when officers tried to intervene, and once behind the wheel, the driver plowed into police vehicles and smashed into a food truck that pinned a woman underneath it. The victim was listed in stable condition after being transported to Bellevue Hospital. The image shows a tangle of vehicles in the street with what appears to be officers assessing the scene. So this one seemed to be some spontaneous combustion by some asshole. But anyway, that happened on New Year's Eve. In legal insurrection, we got a story, a preview of the newest crime-related laws in Cali. The crime-friendly environment in California has led to numerous legal insurrection reports of smash and grab robberies, Beverly Hills becoming a ghost town, piracy in Oakland Day, and a constant stream of organized retail theft. Politicians in Sacramento and the big blue cities seem disinclined to tackle the escalating problem, as evidenced by some of the wild new laws slated for 2024. Here's a couple examples. AB 994 amended the current law on publishing mugshots, only allowing the mugshots of suspects with violent charges to remain on social media for 2 weeks. Those posted on social media should also only be posted if the suspect is a fugitive or an imminent threat to an individual or public safety, and releasing or disseminating the suspect's image will assist in locating, apprehending the subject, or reducing elimination of the threat. So they're saying is you can't post mugshots unless they're kind of still at large, because they don't want to, have, it might have the wrong demographics and whatever, and they don't like to have you, blaming demographics on some shit. The law will apply retroactively, meaning that agencies will have to delete old mugshots from their social media. However, this law will not apply to websites or data systems of agencies. Anyway, other new rules. AB 2282 expands the definition of hate symbols. Oh, it's a hate crime symbol bill, to include any symbols or marks with the intent to terrorize another person, such as Nazi symbols and nooses. The bill also speaks to the need to address hate crimes with symbols against certain minority groups. Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. SB 700 modifies existing laws to make it unlawful for an employer to request information from an applicant relating to the applicant's prior use of cannabis, or to use the prior criminal history of cannabis use. So if you get high, and you used to get high, they can't ask you about it because it's okay to be high in California. AB 1418 bans local California governments from enforcing crime-free housing policies. Such policies prevent landlords from renting to those with prior convictions, but may also call for the eviction of tenants based on the arrest, or contacts with law enforcement. So you can't do it anymore. So those are some of the new laws. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, by the way. Welcome again.
That's right.
Who's dropped a deuce in the tip jar, says, so parents are spending the equivalent of a second mortgage to send their kids for higher education to be indoctrination, indoctrinated to be satanic heathens. That's right.
That's right.
I can't tell you how many educated people I run into that can't do simple math or basic science. That is true. Thank you again for sponsoring the show. All right. In PJ Media, a story on where Biden's gender fluid thieving ex-nuclear waste chief is. Well, apparently they're not doing much against this guy. Let's see. He is so we know he got arrested for many things. He's had several charges. Let's see. I just want to find out here. I mean, it took him a while. It took them a while to fire him too from the Department of Energy. Apparently he's getting treated with kid gloves because regardless of what he has stolen, he's a made guy because he's gender fluid and all the rest. I don't know what happened to the case in Minneapolis because he has several charges pending in several states. I don't know. You guys read the article. I have no idea, and I can't skim it fast enough because I got to go. In Breitbart, apparently there's a new poll that says that Black, Hispanic, and young voters are abandoning Biden as election year begins. Now that doesn't mean they're going to go vote for the guy with the funny hair, but USA Today's Suffolk University poll showed that 1 in 5 Black voters would support a third-party candidate in 2024. In addition, Biden has fallen behind former President Donald Trump, the likely Republican nominee, with Hispanic and young voters, 39 to 34% and 37 to 33%, respectively. That's interesting. Trump has the support of 12% of Black voters, the same percentage he had held in 2020, according to the poll. So, yeah, you're seeing a lot of that. I don't know if that'll last. Who knows? The economy might just miraculously get better in 2024, and then it'll be like, oh, Biden did all this and Bidenomics, yes, except you're still paying $11,000, $15,000 more than you paid on shit last year. And he is doubling down on Bidenomics. We asked political insiders what Joe Biden's New Year's resolutions would be, so you'll get a taste of that here. And then they quote this.
To renew our sacred vow, never forget, never forget. We never forget.
He's claiming this is when he claims he was on ground zero.
Each of those precious lives stolen too soon when evil attacked. Ground zero in New York. And I remember standing there the next day.
No, you wouldn't, Joe.
You
were
felt
in
like I was looking through the gates of hell.
You were in the Senate chamber, just like every other senator. You were not standing at ground zero, sir. You dumbass. Anyway, Breitbart, Trump rips Biden for excessive vacations. When I take vacations, I'm always working. You know, I do the best work. I work very hard, and I really do the best. But then Joe Biden's always on vacation lying on the sand. Even when I'm golfing, I'm talking business. I'm doing things. I'm wheeling and dealing. I do the best wheeling and dealing. In fact, my wheeling and dealing is perfection. It is the most pristine and precious wheeling and dealing. But Joe Biden is a lazy fuck. There we go. PJ Media has an article on Biden's brain misfires during a New Year's Eve Times Square appearance. Did it? Oh, is this it here? Let's see.
I'm curious, what sort of holiday foods have you been enjoying over the last few days?
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've eaten pasta, which I love. Yeah. Eating a lot of chicken Parmesan. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically. And ice cream. Chocolate chip ice cream.
Okay, nobody cares. Why are you asking what kind of food he's eating? Don't care. But is that the brain fart? Where's the brain fart? Is this it?
As you look back and reflect on 2023, what sort of memories, highlights stand out for you?
Well, one of the big highlights stands out for me is my dad used to have an expression. He'd say, Joey, a job's about a lot
she's
more
nervous.
Than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect.
Jill's nervous.
So many people through the Midwest and the center of the country, their factories are shipped overseas the last couple of times out, and they were losing hope and faith. So we brought a lot of jobs back to the United States. People are in a position to be able to make a living now, and they've created a lot of jobs, over 14 million.
No.
I guess I just feel good that the American people got up. They've been through a rough time with pandemic, but now we're coming back. They're back.
Okay, is that it? Where's the brain fart one? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. You can read that yourself. And then, I'll talk about this one tomorrow. The Mile Kowalski case. Who won a $260 million judgment against Johns Hopkins, and Megan Fox has been following that case very closely. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Epic Times. There's this Human Events. What's in Human Events? Delta airline employee. The Delta airline employee who stood up to the trans bully has been receiving overwhelming support. We've seen that across the internet. Those people are just telling that weirdo to shout the fuck off. And then Breitbart is reporting on Green Day's changing the lyrics to American Idiot to bash Trump. We already know that. So that's why he was trending this morning. All right, I got to go, guys. Thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I appreciate you being here. Hit the like button, share the stream, do all that stuff. 50 people here right now. Holy smolies. Just be sure to share the stream before you go and hit the like button. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at pdognight.live/tips or pdognight.live, whatever. And looks like the poll today, final results, the question was Elizabeth Montgomery or Barbara Eden. With no real question, just wanted to know Elizabeth Montgomery or Barbara Eden. The winner is Elizabeth Montgomery, and I 100% concur. I always thought she was much cuter. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, time for me to go. Thanks for joining me on the Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock. I'll be here tomorrow and all that stuff. I got to go. Thanks. My name is P-Dog Knight. I'll drop the links in the chat during the outro, and I am out of here. Bye. Bye. Have a fantastic freaking day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.